Dance, space, fan. Dance, space, fan.
That was easy. We should get one of those for the space station. Save a lot of time.
Ladies and gentlemen, on the show today we have Commander Colonel Mr. Chris Hadfield.
Glad to be here.
What do you go by these days?
All of those are true. Mister's fine. Chris is good. Nice to see you. Wow. Wow. Fire it up.
This is my friend Mike back here.
This is Mike.
From Antigonish, Nova Scotia. And Mike, when you talk
Where's he from?
Antigonish,
You said
Nova
that
Scotia.
really well. Antigonish.
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 I gotta tell you, you're the most qualified person we've had in the space band so far. You deserve the most deserving qualified person to be in the ship. How does it feel to be in an intergalactic spaceship again?
Well, I guess this is the fourth spaceship I've been in, Danny.
Fourth.
I've been in the shuttle. I've been on the Soyuz. I've been on Space Station. And I've been in Dan's Space Fan. It's nice. This is the first one with a mirror ball.
Yeah.
It's a weightlessness indicator. As soon as we hit weightlessness, this thing starts floating.
Because otherwise you wouldn't know.
Otherwise, you would not.
So I was doing a little calculations, and I figured it's about 791 days since you got back from Expedition 3435.
That's right.
Yeah. So how
Look at
are
this, a nice thing. A legacy item here in the van. It's beautiful.
and you're busy as ever. 2 books out.
2 books.
An album.
Album coming out very soon.
Okay,
yeah.
tell me about the album.
So I thought it would be great to try and record some music in space. I just thought it'd be a fun thing to do while I was on the spaceship. And it turns out there's a guitar up there. There's a guitar permanently on the space station, put up there by the NASA psychiatrist. And it's a little Canadian guitar, a Larry Vey guitar.
Yeah, I have the same one.
It's a nice guitar, Parlor. And I just used an iPad with GarageBand and a little microphone stuck in, and I just about once every 3 weeks I found time to try and get something recorded. And so over the 6 months that I was up there, I got about 15 or 16 songs recorded. I just thought, we've been living in space long enough now. We've been on the space station 15 years. It's time to start seeing what it means to us, and where does it fit and everything else. And so writing these songs and recording them up there, it's sort of like the very first, sailors on a ship playing with hornpipe or something, or the first people that landed in a new land and sit and try and write poetry about it and describe what it's like. And that was the idea of it, and we're just about done. And it's just about released, and I'm so proud of it. It's delightful.
And when you said when you could find time to do recordings, what's a day in the life on the station like? Like, what do you have free time? And
so at 6 o'clock in the morning, this watch right here has a really loud piercing alarm, and this watch would wake me up. This watch has been around the world 2,400 times or so, and it would wake me up 6 a.m. I'd get up, we'd take turns, a couple bathrooms for 6 guys on board, so use a bathroom, brush your teeth, grab a little bite to eat, and then talk to Mission Control. And there's one in Houston, one in Germany, one in Montreal, one in Russia, and one in Japan. Talk to all those guys. Everybody tells you what they want you to do, and then you got a whole day's work of running experiments, fixing things, talking to people. Got to exercise 2 hours a day, and so it keep you busy till you grab a little lunch on your own during the day.
Right.
And then about
no time for playing cards.
no, and no gravity. Cards would.
Do you guys always bicker over the thermostat?
Yeah.
As soon as the other guys leave, you turn it back up.
And then about supper time, we'd all get together, chat about how the day went. And then we talk to all the mission controls again about what we're doing the next day. And then after, you know, it's late and it's supposed to be lights out, time to go to sleep, then you'd have a little bit of time, and that's when maybe sometimes I'd feel that I could record some video or record another piece of music. So just squeezing it in wherever I could. And that's when you'd go to the window too. That's when you choose those quiet times to get to the window and really see and take pictures of the world. And while the ship's quiet, often that's when we do some of the really delicate experiments. Because while we're sitting in this van, if you think about it, every time we move, we kind of jostle the vehicle, and it makes the mirror ball move. The same thing on the space station. If you're floating around and pushing off the walls, you put a little vibration into the whole space station. And so if you've got a really delicate crystal growth experiment or something, then it'll get messed up. So some nights we got like a 12-hour day to take, and everyone, you move around on your fingertips. It's like tiptoeing, but finger tipping. You fingertip around the space station, you close everything really carefully so you don't put a pulse through the ship. I was on the Russian space station Mir back 20 years ago, and Mir was not nearly as good a laboratory as the International Space Station. And when you ran on the treadmill on Mir, because of the cyclic pounding of your feet, the whole station would start to get in, and then the big solar rays would start swinging, and the whole space station would get into a big harmonic with you.
And they had a sign on the outside that said, "You see the station rocking, don't come a knocking."
Don't bother knocking. Just like the space van. I set you up for that and you took it. I liked it. It was good.
Look, I want to ask you about this.
Okay.
Everybody in Canada knows this.
So there's two big arms and a spacewalker in the universe and the Earth below. So we built the arm on the space shuttle, Canadarm, back in the late 70s and early 80s, which is like the size of a big redwood tree. It's huge, and it can grab something as heavy as the space shuttle and wave it around. 250,000 pounds, 100,000 kilos. It could wave it around.
Not the van, though.
No, you need a grapple fixture. This van would look nice with a grapple fixture. And then
we're having that put in next week.
And then there's this big two-armed robot on the space station. It's a dexterous manipulator, so we call it Dexter, and it's pretty cool. It can do much more delicate human kind of things. And then the whole thing's mounted on like a rail car that can go from one end of the space station to the other, the mobile base. And amazingly enough, all of those things are on Canada's $5 bill. And I did Canada's first spacewalks. I was Canada's first spacewalker.
That's you.
And so if you ask my mom, that's me.
You know what we need to do? I don't. You should never deface money, but I think just a little mustache.
Hang on, I got a black one. I don't want a gray mustache.
Isn't this illegal?
Look at that. Oh, that looks really authentic now.
There you are.
Yeah. Oh, it's my wife. Do you think she'll want to be on speakerphone? Probably. Hello, beautiful. We're in Dan's space van, and you're on national television. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
You're playing the role of the, I don't know, the communication system. You can be Uhura, or you can be the captain of another spaceship.
This is ground control.
Hi, this is Colonel Hadfield. Nice to meet you. You should see this thing. It's even got zero-G dingle balls. It's beautiful.
I want zero-G dingle balls.
You've never said that before.
Oh my God.
Listen to this. Yeah, very nice. Okay.
Oh, that's a very good hailing frequency.
It is indeed.
I was calling because I'm doing some dye sublimation printing, and I wanted to get a copy of the album cover because I somehow destroyed my email today, and it's rebuilding. So if you could send me that, then I can print us a cool coaster or tile or something while we're playing.
As soon as we're done with this interview, I will beam out of it back down to the house, and I will send you. We were just talking about the new album. I will send you a copy of the album cover, and you can dilithium desublimate it or resublimate it.
You guys set this call up just to promo the album. I know you did.
No, we did. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to beam you over the album, and then you can recreate it on the resublimator back at the cottage.
The resublimator.
Yeah.
What have you done with the Duotronic enhancers? Well, those were replaced with isolinear chips about 40 years ago.
Yeah, cool. All right, I'll do that.
Well, happy voyaging.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Enjoy the cottage.
All right, we're out.
Out.
Bye.
Well, that was fun. This is a great interview.
This is a great van. And this is original upholstery in here?
This is all original. It was made by two guys that were in there in like 18, 19 years old.
They did a beautiful job. Look at the jaw on Spock. He looks a little bit like Jay Leno, but otherwise he's all right.
Everyone says that.
Like Leno or
Jay Leno, David Bowie.
Mulroney a little bit. Yeah, got kind of a Bowie thing going on there for sure.
I mean, maybe you can tell us about this planet. Would you
That's
know?
nice. Yeah, well, there's rings around Uranus, if you didn't know that. I think that's what those are right there. Those are Uranus rings. Very nice.
Uranus rings.
Uranus rings. Beautiful. Oh, man. Da, 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 da.
Chris, how about this planet here? It seems to have oceans, rings.
It looks a little bit like, what's that thing with stars, clovers, and leprechauns?
Oh, Lucky Charms.
I think that looks like a Lucky Charms planet to me. Oh, man, look at that. Sure. Nice. That's hilarious.
Anyways, and then here we have.
Oh, this is beautiful. Wow, that's like Neptune or something going on there. Jeez. Wow.
Now, didn't we? They just discovered a new planet, right?
Actually, Kepler just spotted a planet that is
a rocky
slightly
exoplanet.
bigger than Earth and about the same size sun as our sun, and about the same. Its year is just within a few % of our year. So there's no evidence of life, but probability of life. So who knows? It's pretty neat. Wow. But the cool thing about that is we've only seen like 1,000 planets, and one of them is really close to Earth. So you could assume, hey, maybe 1 in 1,000 planets is like Earth. There are about 7 septillion planets. So if 1 in 1,000 is like Earth, that means there's like, whatever, a heptillion planets like Earth. So we're not alone. We just haven't found anybody yet.
Do the odds, yeah.
We haven't found anybody yet. I wrote the start of it yesterday, and then while I was walking up here to meet Danny, I wrote the last part of this. We'll see if I can remember any of it. It's a Pluto beat poem. If Pluto's not a planet, then really, damn it, Janet, it's just an also-ran it, and that's a shame. Because way out there in the system, rocks are small, and you can miss them, but they're cute, and you could kiss them just the same. But if Jupiter were choosing planet names, then we'd be losing, because Earth is really nothing but a rock. But we're the ones decided, so Pluto is derided. Just go sit amongst yourselves and talk. I think there's a roll.
Have you ever piloted a vehicle like that?
There'd be a roll problem with that design, but that's okay. No, who am I to criticize? A little bit of 2001 crossed with I don't know, a metal band. I like it.
Yeah.
How do you do that with an airbrush? I don't even know how you do that. That's beautiful. Oh, you got the only guy in North America who's from his door handle the rust goes forward instead of back.
Well, that must be a laser cannon, is it?
That's a laser cannon right there. Beautiful, like we practiced. Oh yeah, this. There. Look at that! You got my crest up there.
Yeah.
With the boys. I watched Star Trek before it was in reruns. Like we used to tune in every week and on our channel and watch Star Trek and black and white TV on the farm. But it was like discovering a whole new world existed. Like holy cow, what's that? You know, growing up on a farm, to have that little black and white window and the huge imagination was like stretching your mind at the time. So pretty cool to be in here.
You know how hard it was when you got back to Earth after being weightless for so long.
Yeah.
Okay, now imagine you can get over to the next planet. It's twice the gravity. Do you think you can go from weightless to twice your body weight?
Well, if we're going to go as far as the exoplanet, we won't go in weightlessness. We'll have to be able to control gravity. Twice your weight, that would be wicked. I mean, you'd get used to it. There are lots of people that have allowed themselves to gain weight that weigh twice what other people do. I mean, you could do it, but it would just, you have to become much more muscular. Just you know, you have to build the frame, be hard on your bones. If you fell, you'd be far more likely to hurt yourself because you'd fall twice as fast.
Okay, well, we can't be on this topic without having you tell us. I'm sure every person in the world wants to know. Zero gravity. Just, can you describe what's the best part of zero gravity?
Zero gravity is like magic. It is like magic. It's like you can fly all of a sudden. You know, if you right now, if you just poof, Danny can fly, you would laugh. You would love it. Unstrap your seatbelt here, and you would just float up out of your chair, and then you could push and float to the back. And upside
just a
down
little
doesn't
push and
matter.
you're off, right?
You know, you just touch anything. Just the pressure. There was one night on a spaceship, on my first space flight, I thought I would just sleep floating around. And so I got my sleeping bag out, put it on, and then I got myself holding perfectly.
That's the first thing I would do too.
Slept around, and I got myself perfectly still, and then I just let go. And it took like 5 minutes to drift across just the width of this van, like just slowly. And then the other side, just the pressure of the cloth of my sleeping bag was enough to slow me down and stop and bounce me back the other way. And it's magic to be weightless, and you play with it forever. You just never. You never get
You don't
tired.
get sick of that.
You never get tired.
So when you
of
sleep
floating around
untethered,
with
do you ever wake up and your head was like in the toilet?
Well, no, but
What?
nice.
Where
Your head
am I?
actually,
Where am
your
I?
head ends up. What eventually happens, of course, is because the air has to be recirculated. You slowly move around until eventually the air currents pick you up, and you get thunk up against a ventilation duct
Okay, yeah.
intake. So if you ever look for anything,
You're getting
including
sucked.
someone who's asleep, because at night, before you go to bed, people doze off at home, right? You're sitting watching the TV, and the same up there. You're like typing on a computer, and you fall asleep, but then you just start floating around the spaceship, having a nap, and everyone's like, shh, as somebody kind of floats by having a nap, but eventually they will all go thunk up against the air intake. Things that are missing for months, suddenly, here it is. I don't know where it was, but it finally worked its way to a ventilation duct.
Well, there you have it. Incredible.
Great to be
honor
on
to
board.
talk to you.
Nice to talk to
Very
you
nice to
both.
meet you, Chris.
Always
Thanks.
so cool to talk to you, Chris.
Well, you did
And-
the cool thing
and-
to bring this ship back to life, and to both inspire and entertain people all across the country. What a cool thing to do, and I love watching the videos that you made. It's been a lot of fun.
Chris Hadfield. Can you give us like the command to beam out?
All right, everybody ready? Beam us down, Scotty. This is a song written from a space station as a lullaby to my daughter back on Earth, called Space Lullaby. Darkness falls, a favorite blanket that surrounds us all. A quiet ending to a busy day of noise and troubles we have put away to sleep. You and I, you in your bedroom, me up in the sky. As close as dreaming, we are holding hands. We hug so tightly as we lay now down to sleep, to sleep. Dream your dreams, unspoken magic may be what it seems. You fly so high with me, we touch the sky, and lightly land upon the bed, lay down to sleep. You say I've been away too long, I'm only here and then I'm gone, but I am coming home to tuck you into bed, and I will love you now and always to the stars above. Rainbow of color swirling overhead, a favorite story that we read to fall asleep. And far away, I'm here beside you, darling, come what may. Now that the night is calling off to bed, lay down upon the pillow, pretty head, to sleep, to sleep. Lay now down to sleep, lay now down to sleep, to sleep. Night-night, Kristen.